Okay, so that cut off, so I'm just gonna finish that really quick. So we said, so juxtaposition here of big and small and sort of like the damage that's done on all of that. Here we have the evening trembles and is sad, so that kind of personification of the evening, and the little shadow, which could be the grasshopper. It could also kind of be a reference back to the boy runs across the grass and disappears into the darkening pines. So that sort of like kind of ominous feel. This whole the whole stanza sort of feels like a reference to sort of the loss and grief of the cost of the colonists, sort of like abuse. So here, in terms of like themes, I would definitely talk about identity. I would talk about history. I would talk about loss and grief. I would talk about culture and population. You can talk about time. There's really there's a lot theme-wise that you can kind of pull that I don't have on that list. So just kind of like very quickly, again, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. When we talk about language, I would definitely talk about like kind of culture and earth, right? So the ground, the earth is sore touched, the earth, the world's slow truth, spirit of the water, own rivers and grass, love for the land, song of sunset, psalm of dawn chant. Heart is on the ground. Morning's frost, fireflies flash at night. So lots and lots of kind of references to the natural world, right? That kind of connect back to this idea of like kind of indigenous culture. In terms of stanzas, again, I don't know that there's like a whole lot here. You have pretty consistent stanzas. It is a free verse poem. The big thing I would kind of make a note of down here is this kind of like sort of standalone stanza, right? This one-liner, and then this kind of 3 lines down here. Those sort of speak as to kind of something separate. I would also talk about the shift up here, where we sort of have the difference between the dialogue up here and then the sort of indigenous response in the rest of the poem, and sort of that call and answer sort of structure. Textual features, you can definitely talk about a lot of imagery. There's kind of like lots of little spurts of that. You can talk about personification. You can talk about dialogue, because we have dialogue up here. You can talk about the kind of slurs that we see up here. You can talk about down here we have, in this stanza is where we have some imagery and imagery. I think you could also talk about parallelism. Sorry. It's just parallel with the word is, or with the suffix ism at the end. But like this kind of parallelism down here. You can talk about repetition in terms of I wonder and I wonder. Like there's really a lot in this poem that you can kind of pull. Our last point is it's an indigenous person's point of view, and they're talking to the colonizer, to this kind of like white person, man who fears death. Down here at the end, I will live. What do you need? I have learned. So there's kind of that like first person point of view. So that's Selling Manhattan, kind of a sad poem.